According to many experts and hormone optimization gurus, all you need to do in order to max out your testosterone levels is to eat 2 Brazil nuts before bed, limit carb intake, take cold showers, drink coffee with butter in it, supplement with forskolin and ashwagandha, then sit back, relax, and watch as you effortlessly gain 50 pounds of muscle, heal like Wolverine, and attract all of the hottest women from miles around. Sadly, very sadly, reality is a little bit different. All of these tips proposed by experts are well-intentioned but largely unfounded. Sure, studies have shown that there are a number of obscure ways that you can boost your testosterone by 1–2%, but that doesn't mean that you should. If you want to increase your T levels in the most scientifically sound way possible, then you only need to do 5 things. These 5 things aren't sexy or particularly fun, but they are effective, inexpensive, and require little more than a barbell and access to healthy foods. Here's what the research says about naturally increasing your testosterone as quickly as possible. Before we start, should you even try to increase your testosterone in the first place? Before I talk about how you can increase your testosterone, and I will, we must first discuss if you should even bother focusing on your T levels in the first place. You've undoubtedly heard all of the purported benefits of optimal testosterone and the negative side effects of suboptimal levels. You've all heard that more T will help you lose fat and gain muscle without even setting foot in a gym. Feel confident, strong, and assertive. Skyrocket your energy levels and mood. Look and feel 20 years younger. Have earth-shattering sex. Sleep like a baby. Sounds too good to be true, right? Like so many of the other fitness myths, when you look at the research, it turns out that it is. Having optimal testosterone levels is important for overall health and well-being. Testosterone is one of the primary hormones responsible for muscle and bone strength, production of red blood cells, sex drive, production of sperm, energy levels and mood. So it should only go to reason that it's an important hormone to pay attention to. But the devil is in the details. Studies have shown that, unless you already have low testosterone, improving your testosterone levels from average to optimal will not result in any significant physical improvements, unless you use performance-enhancing drugs or TRT. For example, the average male has T levels around 679 nanograms per deciliter. If you were to optimize your T levels and take them to the very end of your natural limits, around 1,100 nanograms per deciliter, the changes that would happen in your body would be negligible at best. However, when you consider that men have lower T levels than ever before and the numbers are dwindling at an alarming rate, more men than ever before need to optimize their testosterone. All of that to say, if you suspect that you have low T levels, then you should absolutely invest a significant amount of time and energy bringing them into the optimal range. However, if you have near optimal or even average T levels, improving your numbers by a few nanogram per deciliter will not have a significant impact on your life or body. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at what the science says about boosting your T levels and reaping all of the amazing benefits of optimized testosterone. 5 research-based tips to rapidly increase your testosterone naturally. 1. Optimize your macronutrient intake and consume sufficient calories. One of the most important things that you can do in order to boost your T levels naturally is to get your macros right. This starts with dispelling a very pervasive myth. According to all of the best research available, a high-fat, low-carb diet is not the best way to optimize your testosterone levels. Yes, studies have shown that getting sufficient dietary fat, typically 20–25% of your caloric intake, is important. But there's no need to overdo it. In fact, many studies suggest that consuming too much dietary fat and too few carbohydrates can actually result in increased cortisol and decreased testosterone. In addition to carbs and fat, it's also important that you are consuming enough protein on a regular basis. Most studies suggest that 0.81 gram of protein per body weight is ideal for testosterone synthesis. Based on the best research that I could find, the ideal macronutrient split is as follows. Protein, 30%. Carbs, 45%. Fat, 25%. Asterisk note, this only applies if you are applying principle number 2 and doing resistance training on a regular basis. Asterisk. You can plug and play with the numbers a little bit until you find the ideal split for yourself. But you can rest assured that if you want to feel, look, and perform your best, your macro intake should fall somewhere within these parameters, give or take a few percentage points. You need carbs to experience optimal testosterone levels. You also need fats and proteins. So be sure that you are eating a balanced diet that is providing you with the macronutrients required for hormonal health. Once your diet has been optimized for optimal T production, it's time to move on to the second most scientifically valid T boosting hack: lifting some heavy ass weights. 2. Complete at least 3 resistance training sessions each week. The second way that you are going to boost your testosterone levels is through strategic resistance training each week. The research is in and studies have clearly shown that excessive cardio increases cortisol and sets you up for an early death. No, I'm not kidding. Resistance training, on the other hand, has been shown to have a plethora of benefits for your mood, weight, and of course, hormonal health. Specifically, studies have shown that heavy compound lifts such as the squat, bench press, military press, and deadlift elicit the greatest hormonal response in trainees. If you simply train 3 times a week using these compound lifts and a handful of isolation exercises, your T levels will skyrocket, that is, if you aren't already doing this. In addition to strength training, there is one form of cardio that has been shown to have a positive hormonal response. HIIT, or high-intensity interval training, has been shown to increase testosterone levels and help assist with muscular recovery after heavy lifting sessions. HIIT cardio is a simple and effective type of training that can be completed in as little as 20 minutes. To perform HIIT cardio, you are first going to select an exercise such as sprinting, rowing, or burpees, and then you are going to set a timer for 45 seconds. For those 45 seconds, you are going to train as hard as you can. Then, you are going to rest for 30 seconds by decreasing the intensity of your exercise. Once the timer is up, the 45-second intense session starts all over again. Repeat this for 15 to 20 minutes and I promise it will be one of the best workouts of your life. What's even better? You'll get a healthy dump of testosterone without dramatically increasing your cortisol levels. Win-win-win. 3. Lose the love handles. Research has shown an undeniable link between increasing body fat percentages and decreasing free testosterone levels. Therefore, one of the first steps to increasing your T levels is to focus on cutting down below 15% body fat before you try and pack on any muscle. I know it can be tempting to try and bulk up first, but trust me on this one. Lose the love handles and it will be a hell of a lot easier to increase your T levels. One of the best hacks for rapidly losing fat while simultaneously increasing testosterone is to practice intermittent fasting. With intermittent fasting, or, if, all you do is to eat for 8 hours out of the day and fast for 16. It doesn't matter whether you skip breakfast or dinner as long as you eat all of your calories within an 8-hour window. This will help prevent you from overeating and will give your body time to clear out whatever crap has accumulated over the past few weeks. 4. Chill out and get your ZZs. A number of different studies have discovered an inverse relation between chronically high cortisol levels and testosterone production. This is a fancy way of saying stress kills your T levels. And sleep deprivation is even worse. Now that you are taking your training seriously and eating plenty of healthy carbs, proteins, and fats, it's time to optimize your rest and recovery for optimal T. Luckily, this is pretty simple. I recommend that you get 8 hours of sleep a night. I can't stress this enough. Meditate for 10 to 20 minutes a day. Spend at least 30 to 60 minutes engaging in an activity that recharges you. Take breaks throughout your workday. Unwind and read a good book for the last 90 to 120 minutes of the day. If you prioritize your rest and recovery as much as you do your training, your testosterone, and the rest of your life will thank you. 5. Pay attention to micronutrient deficiencies. One of the most common pieces of misinformation in the testosterone boosting space is the belief that any one micronutrient can drastically boost your T levels, a lie used by the supplement companies to peddle pills. Sure, if you have an existing micronutrient deficiency and correct it, you can dramatically improve your T levels with this simple change. However, according to the best research I could find, there are only 3 common micronutrient deficiencies that have been linked to significantly impaired testosterone production. These micronutrients are zinc, vitamin D3, magnesium, omega-3s. Luckily, you can correct these deficiencies for about $10 a month. Here are the supplements I recommend. I'm not affiliated with these brands in any way, they just make a damn good product. Here's the zinc I use and the vitamin D and the magnesium. Throw in a high-quality fish oil supplement and you should have all of your bases covered. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars a month on flashy, natural tea boosters that don't work and are filled with crappy fillers and unknown substances. Keep things simple and stick to what works. Bonus tips that actually work. Since I last responded to this question, I've come across some interesting and unconventional ways that you can boost testosterone levels and decided to add them into the mix below. Enjoy. 6. Eat these veggies. Research has shown that a certain substance known as indole 3-carbonyl or I3C can help reduce estrogen, the tea-killing hormone, levels in men and improve their estrogen metabolism. Luckily, this substance is relatively easy to include in your diet and occurs naturally in many cruciferous veggies. Add these substances to your diet to kill excess estrogen and boost your tea further. Kale, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, bok choy, Brussels sprouts. 7. Have more sex. This will probably be the most fun tip to implement on this entire list. Studies have shown that men who have more frequent sex have higher testosterone. So, do your T levels a favor and get it on, MK. 8. Avoid exogenous estrogenic compounds. Just as important as the things that you do to increase your T are the things you don't do. Namely, allowing exogenous estrogenic compounds into your body. Avoid soy, most dairy, plastics, processed crap, and other estrogen-containing compounds. 9. Go on short-term fasts. While it might sound counterintuitive considering that a sufficient caloric intake is necessary for ideal T levels, studies have shown that going on short 24 to 72-hour fasts throughout the year can help increase your testosterone significantly. During these fasts, consume only water, coffee, maybe, MCT oils, and salts. 10. Watch your favorite team kick ass at a sport, or win at the game yourself. Many studies have found that, quite oddly, men get a surge of extra testosterone by watching their favorite sports team. Especially if the team in question wins. Want to take it even further? Playing, and winning, at a game or sport yourself results in a gigantic dump of testosterone. Conclusion. This video might not be fancy. It might not have all of the latest hacks and tricks. But that's because it works. 99% of what you read about boosting your testosterone levels is either wildly exaggerated to sell pills or a flat-out lie. Research has clearly shown time and time again that the only path to kick-ass T levels is through resistance training, a balanced diet, correcting micronutrient deficiencies and taking care of your recovery.